morning, children. In the last class, we started the chapter electric potential, and in the first section, we discussed about what is electric potential and what is electric potential energy, and then we calculated electric potential due to a point charge itself. Am I right? And then next we can derive the expression for potential due to a dipole. So what was the expression for potential due to a point charge? In the last class we discussed that, or we derived the expression for potential due to a point charge is V, and V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R, where Q is the charge and R is the distance of that point from that source charge itself. And then we studied that potential means potential is a scalar quantity, that is not a vector. And in this section, we want to find the expression for potential due to a dipole itself. So what is a dipole? A dipole means what? Dipole means that is a system of two equal and opposite charges separated by a distance which is known as the dipole length. So in this section, we want to derive the condition for potential due to a dipole itself. So we can consider a dipole. A dipole means we know that there is the presence of a plus Q and that of minus Q charge. Minus Q and that of plus Q charge gets separated by a distance, and that distance is actually the dipole length itself. And we want to find what is the electric potential at a point P. We want to find what is the electric potential at a point P. And this point P is at a distance r away from the dipole. The point P is at a distance r away from the center of the dipole itself. So this is a dipole. Minus Q plus Q charge gets separated by a distance 2a, and we know that we can characterize the dipole with the help of its dipole moment, and dipole moment is a vector quantity. It is always acting from negative to positive. Therefore the dipole moment vector is acting like this. Dipole moment capital P. This is our arbitrary point P. So we want to find the electric potential at this point P due to this dipole. So here the dipole moment made an angle theta with respect to the position vector r. So in order to find what is the total potential at this point P due to this electric dipole, first we can write the expression for potential at this point P due to this plus Q charge. And then we can write what is the expression for potential at this point P due to this minus Q charge. And we know that potential is which quantity? Potential is a scalar quantity. So a scalar means it becomes very easy to add it. So you can find its resultant very easily. So first of all, this plus Q charge is at a distance r1 away from the point P. Then how can you write the potential at this point P due to this plus Q charge? Suppose you are writing that one as V1. V1 is equal to what? V1 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. Therefore here it is plus Q charge. Therefore it is Q divided by the distance. Distance means that is R1. In the same way, what is the potential at this point P due to this minus Q charge? That is V2. That is equal to what? That is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, that is minus Q divided by the distance. This distance we can take it as R2. Therefore this becomes R2. So this is the potential at this point P due to the plus Q charge is V1, and the potential at this point P due to this minus Q charge is V2. And potential means that is which quantity? Potential is a scalar quantity. Therefore, the total potential at this point P means that is V. And that is equal to what? That is equal to V1 plus V2. And what is V1 plus V2? What is V1 plus V2? You want to add these two. So, while adding that 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, it is present. Q is also present, or we can write it, that is V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R1 plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 minus Q by R2. So here q by 4 pi epsilon 0, q by 4 pi epsilon 0 is common. So you can write V is equal to q by 4 pi epsilon 0. What it is? That is 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Then take the LCM of this one. How can you write this? V means that is equal to q by 4 pi epsilon 0. R1, R2 we are taking here. So whenever you are taking R1, R2, here R1 is only present. So you want to multiply the numerator and denominator by using R2. Therefore, here R1 is present. You want to multiply it with R2. So here it becomes R2 minus what? Here, whenever you are considering R1, R2, here R2 is present, R1 is absent. So you want to multiply that one by using R1. So you will get an expression for V is equal to q by 4 pi epsilon 0 R2 minus R1 divided by R1, R2 itself. And what is this R2 minus R1? What is this R2 minus R1? Here we choose to this point P. P is an arbitrary point. And this much distance it is R1. And this distance it is R2. That two distances are not equal. Therefore, this distance R2 is actually greater than that of R1. So when you draw a normal from here, this difference, this distance is actually how much? This is actually R2 minus R1. That is actually R2 minus R1 itself. Then how can you find an expression for this R2 minus R1? In this figure, let me draw that figure once more here. This is here plus q charge, and this is here minus q charge. This is the distance to A, and this is our arbitrary point P, and this distance is R1, and this distance it is R2. That's our figure. Once more I am drawing that same figure, and from the center this distance it is R itself. Okay, and the dipole moment vector, it is acting along this direction, and this dipole moment vector made an angle theta with respect to this position vector. So since this angle it is theta, this angle also become theta. You can take by the property of angles, because if this point P is far away from the dipole, these two lines become parallel to each other. Then this angle is theta means that angle also will come as theta. If this point P, arbitrary point P, is very far away from the dipole means actually the dipole length and all means that is too short beyond our imagination actually, as in the cases of the molecules and all. So this point P is very far. In that condition, actually we are considering these R1 and R2 lines are moving parallelly. Therefore, since this angle it is theta, this angle also become equal to theta. Okay, and then what is R2 minus R1? That is our question. So from here, if you draw one normal, what is this distance actually? That distance is actually R2 minus R1. That distance is what? That distance is actually R2 minus R1 itself. So in order to get an expression for this R2 minus R1, you can consider the triangle A, this point B, and this point C. Which triangle? A, B, C. Big one. A, B, C. In the triangle, this is triangle, triangle A, B, C. What is cos theta? A, B, C we choose. Therefore, this is the angle theta. Cos theta means adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. This is angle theta. This is adjacent side. This is hypotenuse of the triangle A, B, C. So, cos theta means adjacent side, that is R2 minus R1 divided by the hypotenuse, that is 2A. So, what is R2 minus R1 you are getting? R2 minus R1 you are getting, that is equal to 2A cos theta. Is it clear? So, we consider, in order to find the expression for get an expression for R2 minus R1. First of all, we drawn one normal from here. Then these two distances become nearly equal. This will be the extra distance and that become equal to R2 minus R1, the difference. And in order to get an expression for R2 minus R1, we consider here a triangle ABC, and in this triangle, since this angle it is theta, if this angle is theta, what is cos theta? Cos theta means that is R2 minus R1 divided by 2a. R2 minus R1 divided by 2a. So what is R2 minus R1? R2 minus R1 is equal to 2a cos theta. R2 minus R1, that is equal to 2a cos theta. And then what was the expression for V? V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 or q by 4 pi epsilon 0 R2 minus R1 divided by R1 R2. So this is equal to q by 4 pi epsilon 0 R2 minus R1 means 2a cos theta divided by what? R1 R2. And then we are considering if this point P is very far from the dipole, the distance R1, R2 become nearly equal to R square, because we are considering the point P is very far means this distance R1 and that of R2 become nearly equal to the distance R, because the size of the dipole is too short. So R1, R2 is nearly equal to R square. So what will be the expression? V is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon 0 2a cos theta divided by R square we are getting. So what is Q into 2a? Q into 2a is dipole moment. Therefore V is equal to P cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R square. What is V? V is equal to P cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R square itself. And then so if V is equal to P cos theta divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R square, where R is actually the position vector. So here you can consider P cos theta into a unit vector. Unit vector in magnitude unit. P cos theta means P cos theta into 1. 1 is actually the magnitude of a unit vector acting along that direction. So the direction unit vector, if you are writing like this, P cos theta unit vector R. So the dot product of two vectors will come. So potential means we know that that is a scalar. Therefore scalar means scalar product. Product of two vector become scalar itself. Therefore P is a vector. This is the direction vector, the unit vector acting along the direction of this position vector. Therefore you can write P cos theta into unit vector R divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R square. So this becomes the dot product of two vectors, that is P dot unit vector R divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R square. You can write the expression like this: P dot R unit vector R divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R square itself. And so this is the expression for the electric potential at the general point, at any point P. That point P may lie anywhere. So from this expression 1, suppose this point P is here. Suppose this point P is here. What is its meaning? The point P is lying along the axial line. This is electric dipole plus Q minus Q charge. This is a point P which is lying along the line joining between these two charges, means actually that is the axial line. So this is the general expression. So in the special case, first, if the point P lying along the axial line, if the point P it is lying along the axial line, look at this expression: P cos theta into unit vector r, where what is theta? Theta is the angle between, actually this is theta, theta means this is theta, that is the angle between P and this position vector. When you choose this point P is at here, this one is actually here. The point P is here on the axial line. This point P is lying along the axial line, means this angle theta is reduced to how much? Theta, it is reduced to 0. Therefore, axial line means theta become 0. Only 0. Suppose you choose the point along this direction here somewhere. Then in that cases, the angle theta will be this much. In that case, the axial line means theta become either 0 or 180. So, how can you write the expression for the potential? V is equal to P cos theta into unit vector r. So, if theta equal to 0, how much is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1. Therefore, here it become P by 4 pi epsilon 0. Because cos theta is equal to 1, for theta equal to 0, if the point P is here. If the point P is here, means this angle theta become reduced to 0 itself. Or if the point P is here somewhere, this angle theta become 180. Theta become 180. In that situation, what will be the value of V? V is equal to how much is cos 180? Cos 180 is minus 1. Therefore, it become minus P by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. Here also r square is here. So, along the axial line, the expression for the potential is V is equal to either plus or minus P divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square itself. Is it clear? And then, that is first case. And suppose the point P is on the equatorial line. The point P is at the equatorial line, means this is dipole. This is dipole. The point P means it will come here somewhere. Equatorial line is a line perpendicular to it. Therefore, how much will be the angle? Angle become, theta become 90 degree. Theta become how much? Equatorial line means theta become 90 degree. What is cos 90? Cos 90 is 0. Therefore, the potential become 0 at which point? 0 on the equatorial line itself. Is it clear? So, if you are getting a question to derive the expression for the potential on the axial line of an electric dipole, first of all, you people want to derive the condition till here. After that, you can apply the special case, that is on the axial line, the angle theta means that become either 0 or 180 degree. Therefore, you can write the potential as V is equal to plus or minus P divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. And if you are getting the question to derive the expression for potential on the equatorial line of an electric dipole, you first from the beginning you want to derive till here, and in that one on the equatorial line theta become 90 degree. Therefore, the potential will be get dropped to 0. Is it clear? So, that is the expression for potential due to an electric dipole. Okay. So, first we derived the expression for potential due to a point charge, and then we extended our idea to potential due to a dipole, that means a system of two charges. So next we want to find the expression of potential due to a system of n charges. N charges itself. That means in a system there are the presence of n number of charges are there, Q1, Q2, Q3, etc. of Qn. And we want to find what is the potential at this point P. So first we can imagine, or we can write the expression for potential at this point. So this distance you can write this one as R1, the position vector. R1 is the position vector of this charge Q1, and this charge Q2 will be at a distance R2, and the charge Q3 will be at a distance R3, and this point will be at a distance of Rn. Or if you are considering this P also, you can write this is R1P, this is R2P, this is R3P, and this is RnP. Then what will be the expression for potential due to the first charge, that is V1. V1 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 divided by R1P, which is a scalar. And then what is the potential due to the second charge, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q2 divided by the distance, that is r2p. Similarly, what is V3? V3 is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q3 divided by r3p. Similarly, for a system of n charges, what is Vn? What is Vn? Vn means that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 qn divided by rnp. But we know that potential is what? Potential is scalar quantity. So you can add it that one by using the principle of superposition. That means the net potential at this point means that is simple the algebraic sum of the potential due to the individual charges itself. So what will be the total potential at that point P? The total potential at that point P means that is V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus etc. of Vn. Then what will be that? That is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 is common everywhere. So we can take it that one outside from each one. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Then here which is remaining? Q1 divided by R1p is remaining. Plus Q2 divided by R2p is remaining for the second term. And the next term means that is Q3 divided by R3p etc. For the nth term, it becomes Qn divided by Rnp. Okay. So, how can you write the general expression? This is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 summation. We can replace it with the help of the letter sigma, and Q1, Q2, Q3 etc. it is going. Therefore, it is Qi divided by R 1, 2, 3 like that it is going. Therefore, Ri. P is common everywhere. Therefore, Rip. And this I is varying from where to where? I is varying from 1 to n. So, this is the general expression for potential due to a system of n charges itself. Is it clear? Okay. Next, we can just write derivation not required. We can just write the expression for potential due to a shell. A shell means we know that is a spherical shell. If you are considering means inside it is empty, the charges will be resides only on its surface. We discussed in the previous chapter. And then what is the potential electric field at a point P outside the shell at a distance r means that is just equivalent to the electric field due to a point charge. The electric field due to a spherical shell at a point P means that is E is equal to what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r square, that is equivalent to the whole charge of this body. It is get concentrated at its center. It is just behaving as a point charge. Am I right? So what is the potential V outside to a shell means that is just equivalent to the potential due to a point charge, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r. Electric field is equivalent to the electric field due to a point charge. Therefore, the potential outside to a shell, spherical shell means that is equivalent to the potential due to a point charge, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r itself. And then what is the potential inside to a spherical shell? We know that inside to a spherical shell, what is the electric field inside to a spherical shell? Electric field inside to a spherical shell is 0. The electric field inside to a spherical shell is 0 means the potential inside to this spherical shell is constant. Field is 0 means potential is what? Constant itself. Okay, so V inside is constant, and what is its value means that is actually equivalent to the potential on the surface of this spherical shell. If the field equal to 0, how the potential become constant? That one you people will get the idea from in the next topic only. That is actually there is a relation connecting between potential and field. electric field E is equal to actually derivative of potential. E is equal to dV by dr. That we will study. We will study in the next topic. Electric field E is equal to dV by dr. So electric field it is coming as 0. Means what will be the derivative of this function? Derivative of which function is 0 actually? Derivative of constant is 0. So field is 0 means that this potential is a constant. d by dr of a constant is actually what? 0 itself. So field is 0 inside the spherical shell. Field is 0 inside the spherical shell means that this potential is which quantity? That potential is a constant value inside the spherical shell. And V inside is, what is the value of the potential inside? Means that is equivalent to the potential on the surface. That is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R. This relation, the relation you people will study in the next section of this chapter itself. So the relation connecting between electric field and potential is E is equal to dV by dr. So inside the spherical shell, field is 0. Field 0 means that derivative of this function must be 0. So which is this function? That is potential. The derivative of a constant is actually 0, which means that potential is which quantity? Potential is a constant there. Understood? So this is the expression for potential outside and inside the spherical shell itself. Okay. So next we can study about equipotential surfaces. So in the name itself it is clear, equipotential, that means equal potential surface. Okay. So what is an equipotential surfaces means? That is a surface. Equipotential surfaces means that is the surface on which the potential it is equal everywhere. So what is an equipotential surface means? That is the surface where or throughout the surface the potentials remains constant. Such a type of surfaces are said to be equipotential surface. The surface on which the potentials remains constant. Such a type of potential surfaces are said to be what? Equipotential surface. For example, the surface of a conductor. That is, we studied that as in the case of a spherical shell. Spherical shell means on the surface of the spherical shell means from a given point the surface of the spherical shell means all the points lying on this spherical shells, that is at same distance, r distance. Therefore the potentials remains constant. So the example for an equipotential surface, if you are getting a question like that, what is an equipotential surface? Give an example means what is an equipotential surface? That is a surface on which the potential remains constant. And then an example for an equipotential surface means what? Example for an equipotential surface is the surface of a spherical conductor or that of a shell, a spherical shell means. And then next we want to discuss about the properties of these equipotential surfaces. So the first property of this equipotential surface is the work done to move a charge on an equipotential surface is 0. Why it is 0? Equipotential surface. Suppose we are considering a surface. So equipotential surface means suppose you are choosing the one point A here and another one point B here. The potential at these 2 points A and B remains same. That is, potential at A become equal to what? Potential at B. And what is the relation connecting between potential work and that of charge? V is equal to W by Q. So what is the expression to find the work done? Work W is equal to what? V into Q itself. Or if you are writing this expression into the terms of potential difference between 2 points, you can write this as VA minus VB into Q. W is equal to VA minus VB into Q. You can write it. So here VA minus VB means that is the difference in potential. But here equipotential surface means that both the points are lying on the same surface with the same potential, that is VA equal to VB. Therefore what will happen? Work done will be equal to 0. Therefore there is no work is required to move a charge over what? Or charge through an equipotential surface itself. And the second property of this equipotential surface is the direction of electric field is always normal to the given equipotential surface. That is, suppose you are considering a spherical conductor itself. the field at this point, a spherical conductor from the center, this surface means that is at same distance r. So when you are choosing a particular part of this one, the electric field at this point will be acting like this, normal to that given point. If this electric field is not normal to that equipotential surface, what will happen? If the electric field is not normal to that given point, suppose it is inclined like this, means for this electric field it has two components, one is normal to it and the other one will be tangential to that surface. So this tangential component of the electric field will do some work to move the charge through this surface. But in the first property we studied that through an equipotential surface, the work done to move a charge through an equipotential surface means that is equal to what? That is equal to 0. So if the electric field is not normal to the surface of this equipotential surface, there will be a component of the electric field acting on this surface or tangential to that surface, and that electric field will some work, but that is contradictory to our first concept. So which means that the electric field, the direction of electric field is always normal to that equipotential surface at that given point. That is the second property. And the third property is never two equipotential surfaces cross to each other. If two equipotential surfaces cross to each other, what will happen? At that point, at that given point, there will be two values of potential. That is not possible now. For one given point, there will be only one potential. And the fourth property is based on the relation, which one I said already. There is a relation between electric field and potential as E is equal to dV by dr. We didn't study the derivation, we will study it in the next part of this chapter. Therefore, E is equal to dV by dr, where V stands for potential and R stands for the distance. So in simple way, you can write E is equal to V by R. Here it is actually the derivative and all we are taking, but in simple manner, electric field means that is equal to potential by distance. So what is R? R is equal to V by E, no? So if the strength of the field is more, what will be the distance between the potential surfaces? Here R stands for the distance between the potential surfaces. So if field is strong, the distance between the equipotential surfaces will be less. That means the field will be close to each other. Potential surfaces will be close to each other. If the field is weak, the distance of separation between the potential surfaces will be more. So that is the fourth relation. The relative closeness of the equipotential surfaces is determined with the help of the strength of the electric field. If the field is strong, the distance of separation between the potential surfaces become less. Equipotential surfaces will be relatively close to each other. So these are the four properties of what? Equipotential surfaces. So what is an equipotential surface? That is a surface on which the potential remains constant throughout. And then the basic properties, the first property of the equipotential surfaces, we studied that no work is done to move a charge on what? Charge through that equipotential surface. And the second property is on that equipotential surface at a given point, the direction of the electric field is always normal to that given point itself. And the third point is no two equipotential surfaces cross to each other. If they cross, at that point there are two values of potential, that is not possible. And the fourth point is if the electric field is strong, the relative closeness of the equipotential surfaces will be more. And if the field is weak, the distance of separation between the equipotential surfaces will be more. That is the fourth point. Okay. And next we want to sketch the equipotential surfaces for different configurations. So how can you sketch the equipotential surface of a point charge? A plus Q charge is there means, we know that a charge means the electric field lines of a charge possess which symmetry? Spherical symmetry. So here, if suppose there is a charge plus Q at R distance from this charge in all the direction, R distance, R distance, R distance, R distance means everywhere the potentials remains constant because V depends only on R. V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by R itself. Therefore, at R distance, the potential remains constant. So suppose here there is a plus Q charge This is one of the equipotential surface. A surface on which the potential remains constant throughout because it depends on the distance. So this is one equipotential surface. So if you choose one plus Q charge at the center, this one is actually the electric field lines. You can represent like this. Electric field lines are acting like this, outward direction, and equipotential surfaces means that is a sphere. And you can draw another one equipotential surfaces at some other distance, but at that distance everywhere the potential remains constant. Therefore the equipotential surfaces of a point charge is spherical like this, spherical symmetry. If it is plus Q charge, the electric field lines direction you can show outward, but if it is of minus Q charge, the electric field lines we know that ending over the charge is like this. Therefore you can draw the equipotential surfaces of a point charge like this. Is it clear? Plus Q charge and that of minus Q charge. Okay. And then equipotential surfaces of a dipole. What is a dipole? A dipole means that is a system of two equal and opposite charges. Therefore, one plus Q charge and the other one minus Q charge. And then how can you draw the equipotential surfaces of this system of plus Q and minus Q charges? We know that due to one single charge, the equipotential surfaces are concentric spheres like this. Am I right? Both are spherical symmetry, spherical. But here, this is one plus Q charge, this is one minus Q charge. Therefore, in between that one, there is a force of attraction. Force of attraction is existing in between these two charges means in between these two charges there is a strong electric field. The electric field is strong in between these two charges. So whenever you are drawing the concentric spheres here in between these two regions, how can you draw it? That is the equipotential surface of a plus Q charge, you can draw the concentric spheres like this. Am I right? But in between these two charges, the electric field is strong means that here the electric field lines are close to each other. Sorry, these equipotential surfaces are close to each other like this. That is by using our fourth property. What was that fourth property? What was that fourth property? Here the field lines are relatively close to each other compared with the other region because in between these two there is a force of attraction. We studied that E is equal to dV by dr. One relation is there. Therefore dr means that is dV by E. So field is strong. Therefore the distance will be less. That means here the equipotential surfaces are close. Understood? Because in between that one there is a force of attraction. So while drawing the figure you must want to note down that. Otherwise you won't get the full mark. Understood? And then fourth one, a system of two equal opposite charges. System of equal opposite charges we discussed, that is dipole. A system of two positive charges. A system of two positive charges. So two positive charges means plus Q and plus Q we are considering. In between that one, that is individual charges, whenever we are considering, we can draw the spheres like this, equipotential surface of this one like this. Am I right? But in between this one, which force it is existing? There is a force of repulsion. Repulsion means field E is what? That is V. Electric field is V. Therefore, here while drawing the figure, you can draw that one in such a way that there is a repulsive force. Therefore, the field lines are not close to each other, they are widely separated. Electric field lines are not close to each other, they are widely separated. Because here which force is existing? Here the force of repulsion it is acting. Okay, so you can look at the figure which is given in your textbook and draw that one in your notebook without making any mistake, because the relative closeness of this equipotential surfaces are very important while drawing the or while sketching that one. Understood? This is for a system of two positive charges. Then how can you draw the equipotential surfaces for a uniform electric field? Uniform electric field. Uniform electric field means we are representing the electric field with the help of parallel straight line. So the equipotential surfaces is a plane which is like this. On this plane everywhere the potential is same, and whenever you are considering another one plane here, in everywhere the field will be same. So here this is same potential, here this will be same potential. That is whenever you are considering one point from here, from here you are considering a particular plane, means on this plane everywhere it is at equal distance, therefore the potential remains constant. Therefore parallel planes you can draw to represent the equipotential surfaces of a uniform electric field itself. Is it clear? So that's about today's class. So there is one homework question I am telling. Copy the question. That is, what is an equipotential surface? Write its properties and sketch the equipotential surfaces of a point charge, of a dipole, and of a system of two equal positive charges. That is a homework. Go through the textbook and write the answer in your notebook. Okay, thank you.